I made the promise already that we are continuing with understanding the anatomy and physiology of the female reproductive system. This time I am handling the internal female genital organs. Internal. We said in the other video that the external female genital organ actually has 9 structures outside for convenience of understanding for studies. Else, we could go to deeper to bring you more than 9. But now, internally, there are just three major organs. Internally, what we don't see with the eye. Inside, the reproductive organ or system of the woman internally is made up of the vagina, that's one. Now you hear that vagina is internal, not external. After vagina, you have the uterus, that's the womb. After the womb, you now have the ovaries. These are the 3 main organs internally. Somebody will ask me that, what about the cervix? What about the fundus? What about the fallopian tubes? My dear brother and sister, those are parts of the uterus. Just like you also are parts of the vagina. Just like you also are parts of the ovary. But internally there are these 3 main organs. For convenience of understanding, I want us to look at the vagina. Let's see. Some diagram has tried to sketch here. Now, look at it here. Hello? From down, the writings, of course, is on a picture. You see it that way. But you can see right below there is a vagina. As if it's a hole entering. But you see, vagina connects to the womb by a small neck. This small part here is the neck of the womb. The neck of the womb is what we call cervix. Where you see this, the body of the womb itself, the middle here. You see where baby grows. When the woman is pregnant, it is in this chamber in the center here that it grows. That center there is the body of the womb. But you see the branch of tube coming to the right, another one going to the left. Those are what we call fallopian tubes. Where it ends, at the end of the tube, you find a round structure here, rounded structure. That's what we call the ovary. The ovary. You see it's on both sides, left and right. And you can find the supports, some ligaments here from the wall of the womb to the ovary. And the opposite side the same. And you can look at that ovary. There's one of these finger-like projections at the end of the tube. One of them is always attached to the ovary. Okay? We call that one fimbria ovarica. But these fingers at the end of the tube, we call them fimbriae. That palm, the middle there, is what we call the infundibulum. You see, at the outer third of the tube is the ampulla. That's the area where fertilization usually takes place. Because the egg, when it's released from this ovary, these finger-like projections pick up the egg and put inside the tube. And that egg is following the tube and coming towards this center of the womb. If it was this side, it will be the same thing. It picks the egg and then taking it towards the womb. And while it is moving, we call that period the fertile period of the woman. When he has sexual intercourse with a man and healthy sperms come in, the sperms enter through his vagina and pass through the neck of the womb, which called cervix, enter the womb, and some are running to the right, some are running to the left. They are looking for the egg. Wherever the egg meets the egg, fertilization takes place. But studies will tell us that fertilization usually takes place in or at the ampulla, the outer third of the fallopian tube. See the thickness of the body of the womb here. If you look at it very well, I have put it in 3 main layers. Just look at one side here. Internally, you have the endometrium. In the middle, you have a thick muscle layer in the middle. That's the myometrium. And outside, it has some thin lining that goes round. That's the perimetrium. In fact, this is how the female reproductive system looks like inside. You see these ovaries, these 2 rounded structures, these ovaries. They are just like the testes in the man that are hanging but outside. God chose to produce a sac and hang those of the man outside, just so that it should not be heated, because it needs to be producing sperms at a kind of moderate temperature level, even slightly lower than the temperature of your body inside. But in the female, you still have those two rounded structures, but they are deep inside you. We call them the ovaries. So don't begin to insult the man that you're on jambin. You're on jambin too, because the woman has her own jambin, which is inside, protected inside the pelvic cavity. Okay, so don't see the man's on and feel that you don't have those two rounded structures. You have them too. Your own are even fatter than that of a man, but they call your own that ovary. That is the structure, the organ that produces the eggs and makes you fertile. In the man, the testes are the organs that produce the sperm cells and make the man fertile and reproductively healthy. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have seen it. We are talking about the internal female genital organs. I want to emphasize a bit at the level of the cervix. What happens in the cervix is, the ovary, I beg your pardon, the ovary that produces the eggs. When a baby girl is born, by the time a baby girl is born, the ovaries, those two round structures, they are already there. And each ovary is having about 200 to 400,000 germ cells, which is seed for human being. God was so wise. The ovaries contain certain cells that shall mature and produce the eggs. And as they are maturing and producing eggs, they are finishing. Until the day all those cells are finished in the ovary, we will say that the woman has reached menopause. So if you hear that a lady has reached menopause, which is something that happens later in life, maybe from age 40, 50, 50 something, we shall handle menopause someday. It means that the possibility for the woman to bear children is finished. There are no more primordial cells. There are no more follicles, primordial follicles that can release an egg that can be fertilized with a sperm. Now, what you need to know is this. When a lady reaches maturity age and starts having menses, have breasts and so on, my dear brothers and sisters, nature gives a woman from the time she starts having her menses, from first menses, we call it menarche. Take note of this, because age is not on the side of ladies who think that they will finish all schools in life before they get married, who think that they will finish all schools in life before they bear children. Now, know nature, know what nature holds. It doesn't matter your religion, whether you're a Christian, you are a Buddhist, you are Islam, that's a Muslim, you are African traditionalist, you are whatever, your mouth is in the same position where my own is. Therefore, your vagina is where any other person's vagina is. Your penis is where any other person's own is. There is no other religion here on earth that you see somebody's vagina behind the head. No, the body parts are the same. The white men, the black men, all the parts are at the exact positions. They function the same. So we all have the responsibility to study the reproductive system and understand how it functions before we bring in our religion to live the life. Ladies and gentlemen, I already said here that when a lady reaches puberty, which is age of sexual maturity, that is the age where those primordial cells, those follicles that God, that nature had put in the ovary from origin, at the time baby girl was formed, by the time it was born, it already had between 200 to 400,000 of these primordial follicles. But they will remain primitive till the lady reaches puberty. That month that you notice that the lady has started menstruating. Before you see menses flow, it means that the ovary has ovulated. It has successfully produced one egg. And the egg has failed to be fertilized. Then the womb, which normally prepares itself, waiting for fertilized egg, it now shakes itself because the womb is disappointed. When you see menses flowing, we usually describe it as the weeping of the disappointed uterus. Why? Because at the time the ovary is struggling to release an egg, the same ovary is producing hormones like estrogens, like progesterone. These ones prepare the womb and cause a lining to proliferate in the inner lining, a decidual lining to form, making the inner lining of the womb to be thicker. It's like manure, gathering it, waiting for that egg that has been released to be fertilized, so that the fertilized egg will come and implant itself in this fertile ground in the womb. Now you did not have sexual intercourse, there is no sperm, so the egg that has been released, it has a lifespan of about 3 days. It will die, degenerate, reabsorb into the blood system. But the womb has prepared, waiting for fertilized egg. It will not see fertilized egg, and so it will shed. When they start peeling off, when the new cells start shrinking, cracking, blood vessels and capillaries there start cracking, and blood start leaking out, plus those capillaries, plus the dead egg, all of that are the constituents of menstrual flow. We tell you, you have disappointed your uterus. Nature says you have up to 15 years of grace to reproduce with little or no difficulties. So, after 15 years, if you have not yet given your womb even one pregnancy, then be ready for the consequences. The womb will start dealing with you. Don't be surprised. They may see you only at 28 weeks, at 28 years, 30 years, 35 years. Maybe already with fibroids in the womb. Maybe with ovarian cysts. And they may start operating on this. And you ask, when you were still at very vibrant reproductive age, like maybe 16, 18, 20, 22, 25, what were you doing? You were thinking that you need to be above 30 years before you start having children? Can you imagine when you started having your menses for the first time? If it's already more than 15 years from when you started having menses, then you are already going to be facing higher risk when involving in pregnancy. Some may start finding it difficult getting pregnancy because certain infections coming in, certain groups, certain obstructions may start preventing you, and we hear you maybe at age 30, 35 or so, you start moving up and down with complaints of the reproductive system. Know it, that nature matures it and shows signs to you. Make use of it in time. I am going to be teaching more on the menstrual cycle because it involves this level. I will teach you the menstrual cycle in the next slot. My name, Dr. David Ayim. I have a PhD in public health. I am a reproductive health expert. Okay, I'm a midwife. You're a midwife. Okay, any worry, you can put up a question or a comment at the comment section. But you can talk to me on WhatsApp. My number is 674-6054-69. Subscribe to this channel. You are going to learn more. Share to your people. Help others. Thank you.